Gabrielle. You know what today is?
Twin Flame Tuesdays.
Twin Flame Tuesday. And boy, do we have some stories to tell about that, about even knowing what the day is when we get there. But for now, girl, it is so good to see you and welcome everyone to Twin Flame Tuesday.
Yes, welcome.
It is Tuesday.
Yes, it is.
So, girl, kind of start us off on what question you've had and why we're going to take the show in the direction we're going to go today.
Well, usually, this show is about twin flames, but not even just twin flames. It's about spirituality as well. So we blend everything together because everything is together. It's above, it's below, it's within, it's without. But today we're going in the regards of the energies that are coming up right now. What does that mean? And what does that even mean for twin flames? Because we've had a lot of different mixed energies that are coming up at play right now in the regard of twin flames. So, people have been asking me about the energy of what CERN is going on. If you don't know what CERN is the organization that does the Hadron Collider, the particle collider. And so, people's concern about that is because they can create microscopic black holes by doing that. And then also, people are concerned about the vibrational effect of what they can have on our reality. And that goes into when people talk about the Mandela effect. They believe that is stirred up by CERN because they're messing with particles, and everything is energy and vibration. At our level, we are subatomic particles. So when you started messing with particles in the atmosphere and everything that is going on in the cosmos, it puts off a vibration into the whole cosmos of everything. So this is a concern that people have been having. And with that being said, I don't get into the fear-based narrative of any of that. And I've been teaching my clients and even my TikTokers and everyone else, don't get into the fear-based of that. You hold your frequency and align with what you came here to create. Align with that. If you don't know what you came here to create, it's time to do the work. It's time to do the internal work.
Time to find out.
Time to find out. Yeah. Time to find out. So align with your frequency, hold your frequency, and create the life that you came in to create. Create the heaven on earth that we all came here as a child with that blueprint.
Yes. Great. So I guess essentially what you're saying is, I know that that's basically like this large tunnel that's created in a way that supposedly can contain this process so it doesn't affect, so as within does not affect as without. But the concern is that it's not contained within, that it does truly affect without. That's the concern, right? That's
the concern, yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, as you know, tarot world, I just put tarot cards. The Ten of Wands historically has been about we're carrying too many wands. We've got a burden here, and we should not be carrying it. Well, the other day, I had this reading I was led to, and of course I'm led to them to learn, but I'm also led because occasionally they're for me, and I get the hit. This is for you. And I got, okay, you're too limited. You're only letting like one way of dealing with things come in. You're not letting all the ways come in. And it was a 10 of Wands in a different type of deck, but instead of the wands being out like this, they were all like in this little narrow bundle. Mm-hmm. And I saw that 10 of Wands, and I'm like, that's not right. What's not right? And they're like, look at that card and think about what the 10 of Wands looks like. And so I came in and I looked at this one, and I'm like, oh my God, I understand. We are supposed to be letting all of our light body in and let it ground completely. And when we do that, it holds our frequency for us, which is why I've been led to do the meditations the way I've been doing for a few weeks now. You know that. About getting out of our own way, our ego getting out of the way, letting all of ourselves in, letting the light in, and holding our frequency. And all the stuff I've been told about holding our timeline this week before you and I ever talked. I didn't know they were turning the collider back on. I knew about the collider, but I didn't know they were turning it back. I don't watch the news. You said, they're turning the collider back on. I'm like, what? No, I didn't know that. So anyway, so we are going to ground and clear and all of that, and let in all of our light. So we're going to lead it in a little meditation to open things up about how to hold your frequency. So everyone knows how to do that. And I've been having people, like, as you know, I have several people I meditate with on a regular basis. And they're like, I'm listening to that meditation more and more. I'm letting in all that light, and it's grounding me, and I'm holding my frequency, and they're like, not sure what that means, but it's working. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, just keep doing it.
Your higher self knows what it means.
Your higher self knows. But what I use I transmute all energies that are not feeling resonant with me. If I feel an energy that feels funky, if I'm feeling a little out of sorts, let's just go with that. If I'm feeling not happy, if I'm like, I'm not feeling like my happy self, because I'm me, I'm always happy. If I'm not feeling that, I grab up the black tourmaline again. Thank you for the gift. These were gifts, and very nice gifts, by the way. And I just hold this and I just transmute that energy. Even if I don't know what the energy is, if I can't recognize what's happening, whatever is not for my best and highest good, get me out of my own way, transmute that energy now to my personal frequency for my best and highest good. Unconditional love, of course, because that's what we're made of. And black tourmaline is perfect for that. Yes. I have duramite and domalite, right?
Domalite.
Right. For grounding. One you and I got, and then the other one was a gift. Oh my gosh, girl. You hold these in your hands and you let yourself in. You tell yourself to come on down. You are like glued to the floor. You are grounded, okay? Yeah. And what we want to do is anytime we have something we want, anytime we ascend and we come back down, we want to ground that experience. So many people think that ascension is about ascending and staying there. Ascension is about ascending, finding out what it is our purpose is, or finding out what it is we ascended for, or whatever. But then it's coming back down and grounding that, so we then live it, because we are here for the tactile experience. Nobody's telling us that stuff. Yeah. I wasn't told that. When I started ascending, I'm like, oh, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to do. No. Talk about getting yourself confused, because you just get more and more stuff. The more you ascend, the more and more they give you. And then down here, you're confused as can be. You're like, why is nothing happening? Well, because you're not grounding any of that, what that they're giving you. Yeah. And so we want our grounding stones. And so, of course, then if you have trouble connecting, of course, selenite. Well, I don't have any trouble connecting, but I have selenite too. So, but some people do, because some people are so grounded that connecting is an issue. So whatever you need, these are the crystals you need. And so Gabrielle and I teach that too. So, all right. So let's just close our eyes and just breathe deep into our bellies now. Take a deep breath into your belly and just breathe in the white light that is all around you. Unconditional love. Let it fill every part of your beingness. And then on the exhale all that does not serve. And just open yourself up to the expansiveness, to feeling the expansiveness of you. Just keep breathing in and out, and letting the light come down now through your stellar gateway, through your soul star, through your causal chakra, through your crown, through your third eye, through the throat chakra, through the high heart, and then the heart, then the solar plexus, then the navel, then the sacral, then the root, and then ground it down through our earth star chakra, all the way down to the center of Mother Earth. And feel all the light that is you, that light body that is you, that source light that is you, coming all the way down now. Mother Earth invited us here, each of us individually. We each have a purpose. We each have a mission. We each have that which we came here to do, which is to be the one and only us and have a heaven on earth experience. This light body that has unconditional love at its origin, wanting to live out a tactile experience of unconditional love or heaven on earth. As we're all holding frequency to come back to oneness and raise the planet's vibration back up so that we can all have this experience, because it takes oneness for us to do that. For each individual to have this experience, each individual must act in their unique oneness. Feel that grounded feeling as the light just keeps coming in. Let it come in, get out of your own way. Let the light pour down. You can feel the heaviness of it coming down, the weight of the energy coming down, getting wider and wider. It's not just a small trickle, not just a tiny beam. This is a wide beam of light, as wide as your shoulders. Now even wider than that, coming down, coming down. Coming into the chakra system, permeating every cell of your beingness, grounding you. This is how we hold our frequency. We just keep letting the light come in. This is the light that is us. This is the light that created this tactile body that we're here in, so it could have a human experience, so it could be human and have heaven on earth. And as we're grounded to this now, breathe up pure, clean energy from Mother Earth. Breathe it up to your heart space. In the heart space is the intuitive mind, where our guidance comes from, so we know what our story is. We can trust this. This is where we know our purpose, what lights us up, what makes us happy, what makes us shine, what makes us bright. That's our purpose. Feel that energy within, shine within, and then share that energy with the whole world freely. You being you is your greatest gift to the world. You came just to be you and hold your frequency. And this is how. Let the light in, ground it, and share it with the world. And so it is, and so it is, and so it shall be. Namaste.
Ashe, so mote it be. Okay. Whoa, that was good. That was good.
We got a lot going on, girl.
Oh, we do. So when you said that meditation and you said the part about human being and the being, remember we talked about us beings. While you were saying that, I kept getting human, HUMAN. The H is heaven, united man.
Yeah. Heaven united man or heaven united with man?
With man, yeah.
Yeah.
Heaven
united with man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Because that's what it is.
That is what it is.
Heaven created tactile man to unite the energy to come down, not to burden us, but for us to have beautiful lives. Because their life, the light being in unconditional love, their life is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And they want that experience here.
Mm-hmm.
But as we have become damaged,
Mm-hmm.
that has come up
Mm-hmm.
and made the load heavy all the way up the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had to heal from all of that. And that's what we've been going through, bringing our vibrational frequency back up, all the way up from heaven to earth. And that's what we've been going through. And that's why we don't understand what holding the frequency means, is we lost that connection, lost that understanding, lost that knowledge. And so we're becoming consciously aware of it again.
Yeah.
I love that, though. That is fantastic.
Yeah. We're becoming more aware of ourselves.
We are learning again who we are.
Consciousness becoming more aware of itself.
Yeah, we are learning again who we are. Yeah. And so much amazing stuff today. That is the journey that we're all on right now. As the whole planet, as a cosmos, because we started out as unconditional love, and we took this journey, and we kind of discovered what chocolate was. You want to explain that?
Well, I love the way you explain. You explain the chocolate part, and I go to the other part.
Well, you don't know what chocolate is until you taste it.
Yeah.
And so energy was just energy.
It was primal.
It was primal.
Primal energy, just raw energy. Just think of raw energy.
But then it became conscious.
Conscious is light.
Right. So now primal energy just wanted to keep multiplying and surviving. But so it wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just energy. Wanting to keep, it was just growing. Then it became conscious. And that means it had energy in motion. There was emotion. There was intelligence. So therefore, we need emotional intelligence. We need intelligence with emotions.
Yeah.
But we hadn't tasted chocolate yet. We didn't know what chocolate was yet. So we didn't have intelligence about all the emotions, because let's face it, chocolate is a comfort food. Okay?
Yeah, it is.
So as we began experiencing consciousness, or learning things and experiencing our emotions, we started finding out that, well, we're learning new things. And when you learn new things, you get into energy you did not know you were going to get into. So until you tasted chocolate, you didn't know what chocolate tasted.
Just like you look at it, just like a child. A child doesn't know that, if I jump off this porch or whatever that's high up, that I'm going to hurt myself or whatever they're doing, until they do it.
So that's the journey. That's the journey. So we created all this ancestral path because we kept incarnating, experiencing chocolate in different ways. Okay, so hold on a minute. Our teeth get rotten if we don't brush our teeth. We get fat if we eat too much of it. We can put chocolate in this and it tastes good. We can bake it in that. We can do so all these things we can do with chocolate. But and then we'd figure out, hold on, that's not the best thing to do. So then we would go back up, we'd incarnate again, but we weren't clearing what we had done before. So the negative things, if you will, although chocolate was good, the things that didn't turn out so well because of chocolate, we got fat, we got rotten teeth, all those things, but that part of it, those energetic DNA imprints were sticking to us, and they were sticking to our patterns too. And they were also, therefore, coming up our energetic light body as well. They were in our energetic DNA. So every time we came back here, we didn't come back here with that story. That's not what we intended. But we still had the rotten teeth, and we were coming back and getting fat. We still had the rotten teeth, and we were fat, and we were coming back and finding out, and high blood pressure comes with that. And so we just kept digging a deeper hole. Yeah. Chocolate still tasted great.
But that's what epigenetics is. When you talk about
what epigenetics is.
We're talking about trauma being passed on, being stored through generations. It's stored within our genetic DNA. It's stored within our blueprint. So we have to legitimately start to healing ourselves. And as we start to healing ourselves, we start to healing the trauma, all the other aspects that was in our lineages, is in our blueprint.
We were not flipping those switches off. We turned them on. Rotten teeth, turned it on. But when we incarnated again, we didn't flip that damn switch off. Okay. So then we came and gained weight, flip it on. And we incarnated again. We left that switch on too. So we just kept incarnating and incarnating, expanding consciousness without flipping off the switches for the things that we did not want to continue to expand. Those are the denser energies that we're working out of now. That is what denser energy is about. And our primal part of us is all about keeping us safe. And so therefore, that is where limiting beliefs and fear come into play. And so those are denser energies in a way, because expansive energy, wanting to be lighter and lighter and lighter, is saying, let's go this way. And the primal part of it is saying, hold on a second. You want to do more with chocolate. We're fat. We're toothless. We've got high blood pressure. I mean, seriously? Are we not through with chocolate yet? Hold on a second. It does taste good. Okay. Well, maybe we could do this one. What am I saying? We're not doing well. Okay. I mean, so we become schizophrenic about chocolate, I mean, so, and so because we didn't turn off the right things, we didn't have balance with it. We didn't leave the switch on to eat chocolate, but have a switch in us that, we didn't create any balance with it, saying, okay, we're going to go back and tell ourselves, don't do this with chocolate. You can do that with chocolate, but don't do this with chocolate, so that we had balance. We didn't do that. So our journeys became burdensome because we just kept adding more and more on. But the switches that we were leaving turned on were keeping us from we just had a trickle of the light coming down, because those energies were blocking. We were literally, we were blocking the flow. And so that's, now that we're healing those things, we're flipping those switches all off. Societal programming, all of that stuff. It's not all about chocolate, folks. I know.
It's an analogy.
It's an analogy. I love chocolate, and everybody who does this seems to. So it seems to work for all of us. In our world, in the spiritual world, I've been told if people don't like chocolate, we don't trust them. Okay. But seriously, we're flipping those switches all off. We're healing. We're progressing, and getting out of our own way means telling primal self, no, we're going to continue expanding consciousness with those switches flipped off. We did learn those lessons. Thank you for reminding us. We're flipping those off, and we're letting the light in. We're grounding what it is we came here to do. Talk less, feel more. Don't talk about it. Feel the experience. That's how you hold your frequency. If you talk about it, you will invariably bring up not how good chocolate is and what the next experience with it is, and ground it and go for it. Invariably, the primal part of you will say, well, and remember though, we were toothless and fat and had high blood pressure, and our frequency will drop. And that is not holding the frequency. So we don't want to get into the energies of what the past used to be. That's why we disconnect. That's why we cut cords. That's why we do all of that.
And that's why we keep the shell of the past, to remember not to get back into those denser energies.
Right. That's why we keep the lesson, but we don't keep talking about it and harping on it. And when you said the concern is these microscopic black holes, it was channeled to me, and I know people get touchy when you start talking space-time continuum, but in our plane of existence, we have linear time. That is how we measure things. Our sun goes, our Earth goes around the sun. It takes so many days, except light years or such and such. We measure things in linear time in our plane of existence. So what it is beyond our plane of existence, I don't know. But when you said that the collider being turned back on could cause microscopic black holes, what, a year and a half ago now, I was telling you how it was channeled to me that black holes were where we interrupted our space-time continuum, trying to rewrite things or change things that had already happened. Instead of holding the shell, instead of pulling the fragmented energy out and holding the shell, we were trying to rewrite the whole damn thing, and we imploded it. and that caused big black holes in space. And so when you said that, because I didn't know anything about it, but when you said that, I'm like, oh my God, this is starting to make sense. So yeah, so that's kind of gets us up to where we are. So you want to run with all the science now, because that's your stuff. I kind of got us there. Take it away. Take it away.
Well, everything in this reality, I want us to get on the same one accord.
Yeah.
When we talk about, because when we on this channel, we talk about, epigenetics, quantum physics, all this stuff. All this is in the line with spirituality. And that's what I love about these topics, because they are expanding in consciousness. They're not just staying in the Newtonian, which is just physical based reality consciousness.
Right.
It's expanding. And what we've been talking about is about the ego mind. And about how the ego mind, we're integrating. This is what it's about. It's not about getting rid of the ego. It's not about, trying to overpower and throw the ego out. We're not meant to do that. We're meant to integrate with the ego. But as we talked before as a one-on-one, and I've even said this I know this is about myself, but this is happening on a mass scale level. I noticed the more that I integrate with my ego tends to get a little, and I even said this before, it gets a little tricky. It wants to get a little tricky, but it's not trying to be deceptive. It's just trying to protect me in this physical reality. I get it.
Doing its job.
It's doing its job. It's his job.
Self, which protects us.
That's his job. So I get it, and I get it, and I love it, because you're letting me live out this. You're allowing me to live out this tactile experience by me being able to be protected in certain areas. But that switch, we're not living in survival mode anymore. We're going into thriving. We're in thriving mode. So that same energy of the survival, like animalistic, it's primal. It's primal energy. When you think about, snakes and reptiles and all this stuff, you think about the primal of it. It's just survival. But we're meant to do so much more. We're extending. We're becoming more, like the universe is expanding. We're expanding. Consciousness is expanding. We're one with consciousness.
Right.
So with that being said, for us to integrate with the ego, we have to be aware of the certain tactics that the ego might play.
Yeah.
Within ourselves and with consciousness. And I love the way you say it, because the ego does do this. When it gets to a level of consciousness, it gets, like you said, it gets comfortable there. It gets comfortable. We are a species that are used to comfortability. When we don't grow in comfortability, we never grow in comfortability. When you're comfortable, you're not moving. You're not growing. And so we're a species that's built up on comfortability. So when the ego is integrating, it's like, okay, yeah, I understand this. I got this, and all this stuff. But then it's comfortable there. It's comfortable. It's afraid of the unknown. It's afraid of its expansion. It's afraid of how big it will get.
Because in the beginning, there was just energy that was
energy.
It was just primal. And it wasn't experiencing all this emotional, conscious growth stuff. And this emotional, conscious growth stuff, it's not so sure about.
Mm-hmm.
And it has caused some chaotic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so the primal part of us wants to avoid that.
Mm-hmm.
But energy, by its very nature, universal law, it has to keep dividing and expanding and growing.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't stop that,
mm-hmm.
or we cease to exist.
Mm-hmm.
And so in its very nature, trying to protect us, it's actually setting us up to destroy ourselves. Yeah, it's creating a black hole. It's imploding itself upon itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's because of the fear. And
fear.
We know what fear is. That's what fear will do.
Yeah.
Fear will consume you so much until you can't see a way out.
Girl. Because all this is the macro to the micro.
Yeah.
Everything that the cosmos is experiencing in the expansion of consciousness is played out in humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Not to torture humanity, teach us a lesson, none of that stuff. It is because it is literally the cosmos, the light bodies living through us, learning as they're expanding consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And they have grieved that they didn't know to shut the switches off on the journey. Mm-hmm. And that they have grieved. They have felt pain. They have it has been a heavy burden for them that the light couldn't get in, and that we've been carrying the load as society, as a human race, because universal law meant that once they figured out, hold on a second, because they figured it out a while back. Chocolate's rotting their teeth, chocolate's doing this, chocolate's doing that. But wait a second, like Bruce Almighty, we can't just jerk the moon and put it where we want to.
No, that causes chaos within itself.
That causes chaos too.
Yeah.
So we've got to unconditionally love. We have got to accept we did this. And we have got to accept this density that we created, and not shame, blame. It's not trauma.
The exact same thing when we do shadow work.
Right.
We love our shadows. We meet our shadows. We see the aspects of them that we don't like about it. But we see, that's why self-love is so important. You can't do shadow work if you don't do self-love work. That's why you can't, on a max scale, as above is below, if you don't call in the unconditional love, the light energy that you are, you can't face the dark shadows, because you can't hold your frequency.
That is exactly it. For the light to ever get back in, for the light to come back down and embody as meant to, it had to accept we screwed up. We didn't know, though. We hadn't tasted chocolate before, and we didn't know what chocolate would do. Now we know. We can't just jerk the chocolate out. We got everybody addicted to it, okay? Universal law. We can't do it, So, it'll be chaos and pandemonium. It'll be like jerking the moon, It's universal. We can't do that.
Yeah.
So we have to raise the frequency this way, and we have to come down this way. We have to, it's like the portrait of, man and God meeting. But at a certain point, this is what I found too. At a certain point, we reach, because for years and years when we were in denser energy, it was everything we could do to connect. We were always trying to connect up, always trying to connect up. For a good while now, when I want to connect up, when I want to connect up, who's doing that? That would be the ego. When I want to connect up, okay? I would literally be pushing energy out of the way, because I feel everything. As you know, I feel all the energy movement within me, which I know why is so I can explain these things, but it gets a little tiresome. It's exhausting, actually. But anyway, I'm not complaining, but it just to come to center, I would literally have energy. I was pushing out of the way and then pushing to connect up. And I'm like, what is going on? And then finally, a couple of weeks ago, I got, get out of your own way. I'm trying to come down and ground. You've done the healing work. You're healed.
Yeah.
Enough anyway, because we're never totally healed, because we're expanding consciousness. We're always going to be learning something new about chocolate. Okay. So we're never totally healed, but we're going to spiral upward and do it faster and faster and faster. And it's going to get easier and easier and easier. We're going to get out of our own way and let the light in. But the ego was, but I have to connect up. No, we don't. We would have never had to connect up to begin with if we hadn't have gotten into the energy.
Yeah.
It's always meant to be, we are the vessel that the light was coming down to have the tactile experience in. So get out of your way now that you've done the healing work, and just let the light in. Let it ground, and then do your divine feminine flow with that, balanced with divine masculine energy of doing. It'll give you inspired action to do. And that is how we hold frequency. Girl, we have got to know what it is we are here to do. I got the other day, trust the universe. I got that card, and I'm like, if I don't trust the universe, who does? And they're like, well, what's the universe? And I'm like, hold on a second. It's everything is the universe. Everything that is in the universe is within each light being. And somehow or another, everything that happens in one light being is communicated to the other light being. So everything is always within every light being. So every light being has all of the universe within it. Oh, so that means that the universe is coming down within each one of us. Trust the universe means if you are letting your light being come down and ground, trust you.
Trust thyself.
So if that's sovereignty of self, that's why we want sovereignty of self. But we don't want sovereignty of self unless we're letting all of our light being in, because we're sovereign over what? We're sovereign over what the ego, we're sovereign over the ego's fear-based primal yada yada yada. Now we want to be sovereign over what the light being is telling us. This is, I'm up here, I'm unconditional love. I want this tactile experience of unconditional love down here, coming through the heart space. Listen with your intuitive mind. This is it. This is the beautiful life you're supposed to have. You're the universe. I'm the universe. We're the universe. Trust what you know. Let's hold the frequency. But what have we got bombarding us, telling us different frequencies, Gabrielle? Because that's what that's what started our conversation this morning, is both of us on the phone going, girl, what happened to you this morning? Because both of us had the universe, had something telling us different stories.
Yes. So with the energies at play now, it's all about balance. It's about finding our balance.
Yeah.
So with that, you're going to have two sides of the coin. You're going to have the denser energy, the lighter energy. So right now, this is why holding your frequency is so. We signed up for this. Like all the light workers, the healers that are watching this video, when we talk about what we came here to do, this is what we came here to do. We are legitimately in the cusp of it. So with the collider being turned on and everything like that, and since people aren't really watching the news and stuff like that, this generation is shifting. This generation is completely shifting.
We're not going to let them feed us all that fear crap and put us in denser energy. We're not going to let them do that.
No.
So
completely shifting.
That's the way to do it.
Yes. But with that being said, like you said, what's playing on an individual level with us is playing on a mass consciousness level. The ego of all of us, of the collective, is afraid to ascend. So with that being said, that's why even the Bible talks about false prophets, talks about, energies that can be deceptive. And so you have to be very mindful. You have to have sovereignty over yourself to be able to decipher what you're listening to, if it serves your highest good or if it doesn't. And this is where a lot of people get in chaos, because they don't know thyself. They don't know what they came here for. They just know what this society tells them to do, and that's it. I work, sleep, eat, shit, piss, and that's it.
Girl.
Have sex, that's it. That's it. But it's so much.
Let's don't just throw that last part out. Let's just.
That's good too. But,
just miss the last one, okay?
No, that's good too. But it's so much more. It's so much more. I know.
It's so much more.
It's so much more.
No, I'm sorry. Go on.
I love it. But yes, it's so much more. But we're waking up to that now. You see, people are not willing to work for pennies on a dime anymore. They're tired of being slaves to the system. We're right now in an era where it looks like women's rights we're moving backwards as far as, on a conscious level, as far as what we can do. We're still not considered equal in the terms. This is where balance is so important, because our consciousness has been in one direction. That's why when you hear about the divine feminine rising in all of us, she's rising in each and every last one of us. The universe is masculine and feminine, not just masculine. It's both. You can't have one without the other. And in this reality, we see it as just more one soul driven. And so we even talked about it too. Remember we did the Twin Flame podcast on what was the app name? We did it one time. Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Remember we had the guy.
We had somebody come on that was like deep into this stuff. He was way ahead of us, not ahead of us in thinking, but ahead of us as far as this is the episode he should be on.
He should be on. Yes.
He was talking. Yeah.
Yes. And I love that, because we got it from the divine masculine aspect.
Oh yeah.
And remember
logging on talking this, and we were like, whoa, he's way ahead of where we are in terms of ready to talk about.
Yeah.
It's a quantum leap.
Yeah. And coming from a masculine, it was a really beautiful clubhouse. It really was.
Yeah.
And y'all should check it out. I'll put the link in below, because I have it linked inside the link, so y'all can check out that episode that we did on Clubhouse. But with that being said, we have a shift in consciousness, because in some realities of consciousness that have been on different planets and universes, they've been more in the feminine energy. Some has been more in the masculine energy. You see what I'm saying? But as we, because consciousness had to expand. So when it expanded, it split itself up in twos, and that energy vibrated across the universe. So some might have more masculine, some might have more feminine.
Sure.
But now we are coming back to center. All that is coming back to center, and balance is so important. So right now, I said it to say, don't get caught up in the illusion of whatever fear is going on. Don't get caught up in the narratives, because this morning we had some timelines that were trying to show up as a timeline that we are going to create, but we have sovereignty over ourselves to say, no, we're not agreeing to that. That's not the timeline that I came here with as a blueprint. I know what I came here with. I'm not agreeing to that. Now I'm gonna let you talk about how yours, if you want to talk about how yours shifted.
Yeah,
But for
sure.
me this morning, this AM, I was like, okay, yeah, today is Twin Flame Tuesdays, and I'm like, hold on, it's Wednesday, and I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night or whatever, but it wasn't that. It was just I felt a shift in vibration trying to take me out of what I was trying to create. But I didn't have any fear about it, because I'm like, okay, no, I know my energy. You know what I mean? I know my energy.
Right.
So right now, you might be feeling, a lot of people when I talk to, they are feeling a lot of energies inside of them that they don't even know what's going on. Some people are in chaos right now because they're not aware of their energy. When you have sovereignty over your energy and you're aware of what your frequency and your signature feels like, when these other energies come in and bombard you, they can't, because you know your frequency.
Right. Absolutely. I didn't even know. I caught you on a TikTok the other day talking about we were in a portal. Usually I know about portals.
Yeah.
Usually I'm the one telling you, Gabrielle, we're in a portal. But I didn't know we were in a portal.
Mm-hmm.
So
the serious portal.
I'm like, what portal are we in? Well, you and I didn't get to talk until yesterday. You contacted me about something else entirely different. And I told you, one, that all week I was shown, this is we have reached, this is it. You have reached the healing to the point. This is our best and highest good timeline. This is it. You're aware of what it is. Hold this frequency. I mean, my walks, my meditation, hold this frequency. This is it. And I would get these little, for lack of better words, and people who are in our world are going to get it. I would get these hits that I knew were not the right hits. I knew they were egoic or lesser,
more fear-based.
Collective conscious energies, but they were not the collective energies that were the right energies. Okay. And that doesn't mean they were evil energies. Yeah. It means that they were thoughts that were up there that were not the right ones for me. Because just because it's in the collective consciousness doesn't mean it's right. Okay. So I would get them, and I'm like, well, hold on a second, that doesn't align, And I was like, that's right. You caught it. You're right. Hold your frequency. And I'm like, what is going on? Why am I? Because I felt like test, and how I'm about tests. We don't get tested. We're here to learn, but it's not to challenge us or test us. Yeah. It's learn. So I'm like, this doesn't seem right. But I kept thinking I need to reach out to Gabrielle, but I hadn't. And so you had something happen to you that caused you to reach out to me. Yeah. We ended up talking about that like 5 minutes, and then we got on this. Yeah. And you're like, well, you do know we're in a portal, and they're getting ready to turn the collider back on. And I'm like, what? And you're like, well, you know about that, and I'm like, no, I don't know about any of this stuff. So you start talking, and I'm like, holy smokes, well, that makes sense. Well, then when you told me about the collider coming back on and about the Mandela effect, where they believe that the collective consciousness, after they turned it on the first time, describe the Mandela effect.
So the Mandela effect, if you look it up, you can go research it. It's different timeline shifts. So if you think about everything as energy and vibration,
right?
And where when we talk about quantum jumping, this is what we talk about with quantum jumping. We're talking about jumping to another timeline. Right. So look at it as just another frame in your picture, another frame. You're jumping up frames. And I love it. I think his name is Bizarre. He's a channel. He gets channeled by this guy. It's an energy, a high energy being. He talks about it as frames. So I love that analogy. So look at it as different frames. So what the Mandela effect is, if, say, for example, in our consciousness, one example I can give you is the whole fruit of the loom thing. The example I gave you. Yeah. Now, I remember from when I was younger, the fruit of the loom had a little cornucopia thing on that. Well, now in our consciousness, it never existed. It's like it never existed. And you can find so many anomalies. And even when you look at it as the multiple dimensions, the multiple worlds, everything happening at one time, if I think of a thought, I create another dimension, it even makes sense along those lines. Because if we're jumping timelines and we're jumping, if the vibration and particles are being thrown out of whack, they're vibrating to different vibrations and different timelines. So one timeline, the cornucopia could have been on there. The other timeline, the cornucopia could not have been on there. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's little bitty differences in this reality that it's like, oh no, this isn't what I remember as, and as a collective, it's not just one person, because one person, but as a collective, it's like, no, that's not the timeline that I was on. I don't remember any of that.
Which is, and I know that people who don't like the term linear time, but the way our planet existence is set up, that is not how things go. And so when you mentioned that, I listened to you, and then after I heard you say it, you know, I'm like, okay, I get what you're saying. So then my conversation with my meditation person right after that was, you know, I think it's got more to do with like the 100 monkey thing. I think it's got to do with one monkey washed their sweet potato off in one part of the world, and another monkey saw it, and then more monkeys started doing it, and then it got into the collective consciousness of the monkeys, and all of a sudden around the world, all the monkeys were cleaning their food off. You know, it's just, we put the energy out there, just like the orcas do with, you know, this is how we get food, and just like the whales do, you know, it's telepathic, or it's put the energy out. So I didn't even really take that seriously, that the collider coming on today could alter timeline. You know, I was like, okay, I see why they think that, but nah. And what I told you was, and if it can do that, the universe is going to use that for positive, to jump into the right
timeline.
It's not going to be, there's nothing negative going to come from this. I'm not worried about it, because I don't buy into the whole negative. You know that.
Me either. Yeah, me either.
So, and then I let it go. I didn't think another thing about it. As you know, I'm very aware of what my timeline is. I'm very aware.
Yeah.
So I got up this morning, and all of a sudden I start getting this, okay, sorry folks, bullshit timeline stuff, okay? I draw a card, and I get this crazy, let me see, how was it put to me? Let me see. I've got it here. We have stopped settling for family that is not really the right family for us. And we started creating our own families. This is true. I teach it all the time. You know, don't be with family because you should. Be with the family that lights you up, that you are drawn to, that you're attracted to, et cetera, et cetera. Then it extrapolated, and it said, and stop doing it with your twin flame. If your twin flame is not going to be your twin flame like they're supposed to, stop putting yourself through that. And I'm like, hold on a second. I know for a fact why twin flame are here. We are here, one, because we do light each other up and we want to be together. We want to heal and be together. But two, because oneness divided to experience unconditional love, but replication of unconditional love was not it. It wanted to co-create. And co-creation meant twin flame, that, you know, divided twin flame. And now we come back to oneness. Right, divine feminine, divine masculine. Now to come back to oneness, which is what we're doing. We're healing all this stuff we talked about. We're healing from discovering chocolate. Is what we're doing. Okay? So, but to do that, the twin flames have to come back together and learn that we're whole and complete in and of ourselves. We can each eat chocolate, but we can agree on how to do it without having all the wrong switches turned on. And you can have your path, I can have my path, and we can have our path together, and we can co-create, continue to expand consciousness, but do it in a way that is harmonious and beautiful and high vibrational. And we don't have to be fearful of it, caught in our primal dense energies. We can bring our primal dense energies with us and listen to the cautionary part, but not be limited by it. So we keep the shell, but we don't stay in that energy. And so I know that for a fact. So this notion of that there is that what you can extrapolate from one to the other, that is not my timeline. I am not to abandon my twin flame journey over that. I am to continue to hold my frequency so that, you know, and I can't control what my twin does. That's true. And I'm not to be unhappy. I'm not to, like, you know.
But we talk about the twin flame union is about coming back to sovereignty of self anyway.
Sovereignty of self and to be happy, et cetera, et cetera.
And what this looks like when that timeline is trying to break that, coming back to sovereignty of self, that
Yeah.
is just the ego of the collective afraid of the expansion that happens, because it
Yes.
brings harmony in our collective. It brings harmony throughout eons, and we see it all the time. We
Yes.
talk about the divine feminine and masculine coming together, creating a whole new energy. Even when we have children, we have a divine masculine and feminine come together, create a whole new energy.
New
The
dimension.
the the
Yes.
whole new dimension, a child, the Holy Trinity. So this aspect of this energy coming in, which is the ego of the collective coming in, because it's at a comfortable place. It's like, okay, well, we can talk about spirituality now. We're not getting lynched and hung because we're talking about this kind of stuff. You know, we can openly, we're experiencing more, but we're afraid. What if we go up too far? Let's
We've
talk
gotten really comfortable with. We've gotten really comfortable with. You know what? My family doesn't resonate with me,
about.
so I will be family with them as much as I can be, as long as it's healthy for me and have my parameters, boundaries,
Mhm.
whatever term you want. But
Mhm.
my family, the people I'm close to, I will decide those for myself. The ego has gotten very comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So the ego's like, so I'm going to keep everybody safe now. We're going to extrapolate that on out to Twin Flame World, and we're going to tell Twin Flame World that. And who better to do that with than the one who's screaming from the top of the lungs, no, that's not what Twin Flame's here for, And
But I've seen that. Remember we talked about that last time. That's
I
something that's
know,
coming up in the consciousness. I've seen other people talk about twin flames and talk about what twin flames are not here for. That I'm like, oh, we talked about that in the episode
morning,
before.
girl. I
Yeah.
heard it this morning. And, but all week, of course, Metatron is new channels to me.
Mhm.
All week it was, this is your timeline. Hold your frequency. Hold your frequency. You know how important it is. And it doesn't mean my twin does what I think my twin should do. It doesn't mean that at all. But it still means I hold my timeline.
Mhm.
It means I hold my frequency.
Mhm.
So this morning I'm getting ready, and everything I come across is how twin flame are just here to spiritually awaken one another and grow. That's all they're here for. And I'm like, what the crap is this? That is not what we're here for. We are here to bring the universe back to oneness,
Mhm.
which doesn't mean everything implodes on itself and we all go back to being one big, great, massive thing.
Mhm.
That's not it at all. The universe values our uniqueness because that's how it expands consciousness. It wants to expand consciousness in a healthy, high vibrational way, which Twin Flame is a model for. If we abandon Twin Flame journey, we abandon doing that. So damn straight I'm going to hold my frequency. My twin may not step into it, but you can damn straight believe I'm going to.
Yeah.
That is what I'm here to hold the frequency for. And I
Yeah.
will be healthy, happy, whole, and complete doing it, with or without my twin.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'll have an amazing life doing it.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I'm going to hold my frequency, and I'm not going to fall into a lesser timeline.
Mhm.
I'm not going to do it. I'm
And
not
when,
going to do it.
and when you said that, I want to say something, because I get it. And I'm so glad we have two different energies here on this channel, because we have a person that twin is still here but not in union. We
Yeah,
have a person that's twin is not here but is in spiritual union.
right.
And the beautiful thing, first I want to say, for the twins that have crossed over, I know it is hard. I know it is hard. But we came here to live out the other aspect of this journey, the
Yes.
blueprint of the other aspect of this journey. Twins that I talk to all the time, even if they aren't even consciously aware of everything that's going on, they come to me and they ask me, and they're like, okay, I'm getting these signs from my twin, all this kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah, that is your divine counterpart. Yeah, you're gonna be getting signs from the other side and stuff like that. But they get so caught up, and I get it because I was there too, in the loss of the physical vessel of their twin not being here. And I just want to say to the twins that have crossed over, the twins that are inside my Facebook groups, the ones that I don't even know, whoever sees this message, if your twin is not here in this physical vehicle anymore, you are still meant to hold your vibration. You are still meant to expand consciousness. Because what's happening is that just because your twin isn't physically here, you guys are still doing the work. You all guys, energy talks first. Like we talked about this on my channel several times. My twin cleared something on the other side that we weren't able to clear in this physical vessel, that he cleared, and I felt the vibration of it and went through it myself and cleared my portion of it in a dream that I had. you know. And so this is all energetic work. This is all the universe. This isn't some hokey pokey shit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's just we're becoming more aware, and that's why I love about quantum physics and everything like that, because they're
Yeah.
starting to understand and break it down so our conscious mind can understand the spiritual woo woo aspect of it.
We've got numbers and graphs and equations, and we've got the, oh wow, that sounds like it might be sacred geometry or
Yeah.
something there. Yeah, imagine that to
Yeah.
back it all up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I get it. I'm 57 years old. I'm still, in my idea, a young woman. How many years do I hold this frequency? And maybe my twin never comes. Do I live a life by myself? Do I, no, I don't do that. I'm not doing that now. I mean, I spent 5 hours at Applebee's Friday night. I had a damn good time. I was out yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm not standing still doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm building a life and I'm having a life, but I know what I'm ultimately here for. And if that happens, I will hold the frequency for that to happen.
Mhm.
But it also means holding your frequency means you live you live a full, complete life now. And that person, either they hold their frequency and they step into the timeline and the two of you get together, or the two of you don't. But it doesn't mean that you just up and abandon and tell the collective to abandon Twin Flame Journey. It's too hard.
It's not like abandoned ship, because it's too hard.
Yeah.
It's abandoned
It's not like that. It's not like that at all.
No.
It's just not that. It's not, well, just like family can be too hard, and so pick your own family. Twin Flame's too hard. Just go pick somebody else. It is not that at all.
And even with family, it's not even that it's too hard. It's just that you have sovereignty over your energy, and you're not going to allow people that are not aware of their energy to disrupt the sovereignty you have over your energy.
Exactly. And the truth of the matter is, that is the best thing you can ever do for your twin anyway. Because you don't want your twin, if you being in your energy is not how your twin wants you. Because the relationship isn't going to work. If you have to go and pretend to be something you're not to be in union with your twin, that relationship isn't going to work.
It's not.
And the truth of the matter is, if you have to go into a different vibrational frequency than self, you're going to be miserable too. Twin Flame Journey is it's not going to be at the vibrational frequency. It's not going to be the highest and best good for both of you. So you have got to hold your frequency. And either the two of you find that frequency together, or you don't. But you don't sacrifice that. You don't sacrifice what your frequency is and what you know the truth to be, out of fear.
Out of fear.
Oh my God, I'm getting older. What if this doesn't happen? No, you go by inspired action. You go by your heart space. And if you do meet that other person that the universe has said, okay, we have watched and watched and watched, this isn't happening, that twin is not going to do it. This person, the butterfly effect here is, that person is a very close energetic match. We're going to put them in each other's path. Then your heart space will know. Your energy coming down will fill your heart space with, okay, granted, there's nothing like your twin, but this energy is on the planet now, and it resonates so closely to yours. And we've put this energy in your path. And I'll be damned if you're going to gone through all of this not to be healthy, happy, whole, and complete. You're not here to be alone. And if your twin is not going to come into frequency with you, then this is better. We're going to make damn sure you're happy. I'm here. That we're going to make sure this turns out better. And that will happen. But that happens by you holding your frequency and being who you know you are.
But when you look at it on a grand scale, that is what's happening in the cosmos. That is what the universe is doing. The universe isn't coming down here to meet us. It's holding its frequency and saying, y'all come here. And the universe is not afraid, because it knows, the creator's not afraid, because it knows that it's expanding. It knows it's learning about itself. It knows that this energy it got into, it knows it's not going that. And wherever the aspects of ourself down here, whatever we're playing and doing, it's not going to allow that. It's holding its frequency and said, okay, kids, you're playing, but it's holding its frequency. Come on, meet me here. Even like with our children. When our children are doing stuff, being chaotic, you know what I mean? We don't get out of our energy or whatever when they're chaotic, and we hold our energy. We even see it with them. They come and meet us at a level. But when our energy gets chaotic, what happens? Is the whole situation is chaotic.
And that's the reason why we had to come up to meet them at a certain point. And once the healing got to the point that they could ground all the way, then they're holding that frequency. It's like, we're here.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah.
Now, denser energy, which is the fear, limiting belief energy, we're holding right here. We're not budging. We're not budging. That denser energy is going to come up.
Yeah.
And that denser energy is going to dissipate. And lighter and lighter, higher vibrational energy is going to overtake the collective energy. And better decisions are going to be made worldwide all the time. Because more and more of this energy is going to be coming all the way down and grounded. And it's going to be flowing all the way back and forth. All the way back and forth. As more and more healing is done and people's egos or limiting beliefs get out of the way. And that's what we're doing.
This is a paradigm shift.
We are connecting heaven and earth with the energy that's supposed to be there, and we are holding the frequency. And we're not going to change it. And that's the same thing twin flames are doing. We're not going to give up the frequency. Now, if the twin doesn't join us, they don't join us. We will be guided to a life that is happy and healthy for us. And it may be with another person. It may not be with another person. I don't know what that looks like.
For everybody. Everybody's individual and different.
Right. But I do know this. I do know that waking up, it was freaking bizarre because I had no clue about the stuff you were talking about. But all last week, I just kept getting, this is the timeline, hold this frequency. And I was like, I need to talk to Gabrielle. And then you called about.
First of all, let's just get. I want to get into that a little bit. I want to get that a bit. Because even this is what I want you guys to see. Because I don't want people to be afraid of the dark.
Right.
And so I want to bring this up as an example of how things come into your life. I even say all the time, even the dark is working for the light and doesn't even know it. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even the dark is working for the light and doesn't even know it because it's just primal unconscious energy that is just moving and doing things and not even aware. But the light knows how to navigate these energies and still make it work out for the highest good. That's why you always say when stuff is in chaos, this is still working out for me for my highest good. And if you visualize it and see that, you will get moved out of that chaotic energy into more high vibrational energy. And
that is because the light will not stop bringing the darkness back in. Because the light feels like, consciously knows, we got into chocolate and we didn't know what that was and we left switches on we shouldn't. And so the light is always going to self-correct. It's always going to course correct.
Yeah, like a GPS.
Right. So the light is never going to abandon the darkness. No. The light is going to fix what it did. And so the light acknowledges the darkness as that's a part of me when I didn't know better. Let me love it back into place.
Yeah, let me love it back into place. That's what shadow work is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And so yesterday I had a big thing. I woke up. I never wake up and jump on Facebook or anything like that. You know, and as soon if I do wake up and jump on anything, it might be TikTok because when I open up, the algorithm knows me. It shows me what I need to hear right then and there. So I never open up Facebook because Facebook has a lot of energies everywhere. So I opened it up and all of a sudden it says your ad has been approved. I'm like, my ad has been approved. I hadn't did a paid ad. And then I said, let me get up out of bed. So I got up out of bed. I was a little bit, 8 o'clock is late for me. You know, I'm up usually early in the morning. So I got up out of bed. I went to Facebook and I'm like, okay, let me figure out what's going on. Make a long story short, it was some kind of account that made an ad account on my account. And it wouldn't let me delete it. It was like I didn't have any rights to it. And my account has never been, I have two-way authentication system up. It's never said my account has been hacked or anything like that. So I'm like, how did this person get access to my ads? And I can't even delete this person, you know? So it's no way to contact Facebook or anything like that. And so we talked about it a little bit, you know, and the old me would have got out of my energy. But see, this me, I stuck in my vibration. I said, let me call Mesha because this has happened to Mesha before. So let me call Mesha. So this is why I said the dark is even working for the light. Because me and Mesha has been saying internally, we need to talk.
Yeah.
Every time we talk, we get pieces of the puzzle, downloads I've had, downloads you've had, and we put the puzzles together. So we've been so busy with, you know, doing stuff, everything we have going on, we haven't took time to talk. So this happened, and even yesterday I made a video. I'm gonna end up posting it, and I sent love to whoever that person was that did that to my account. I was able to deactivate it. It says it's gonna take 2 days, but the person still had somebody else's credit card on file. So I made a video showing, just in case they try to come back at me and say I charged this person credit card. No, this was not me. This was this fake account that got into my account that I don't even know how it got into. But even with that being said, I sent love to that energy and said, this is for my highest good. Even when we was on the phone yesterday, I said, you know what? This is what happened. This is even the dark working for the light.
Exactly, because what it identified for us in the long run is our ego, which we have not abandoned and are not going to abandon, because it is a part of us. It is the primal part of us meant to protect us. It's coming up in frequency too. And it's getting more and more clever. And it is saying, yeah, I'm on board. Hold on a second. This is a good place to stop.
Yeah.
And we can't fall for that.
Yeah.
We have to hold our frequency and keep expanding consciousness, because divine feminine energy is expansive.
Yeah. It's the energy, divine feminine energy is the energy that is created at everything that is created in this universe is made of divine feminine energy. She is the expansion. She is the particles of everything. The divine masculine energy is what makes it. Is this energy of creating something, of me creating this computer, of me focusing that energy of the divine feminine, her vastness, taking it and focusing on something to create something. And then the divine feminine picks up that, and she nurtures that and cultivates that seed. So they're always interchangeably working together. You can't have one energy without the other.
And the light does not want to abandon the denser, because it doesn't want to see it as denser. It wants to bring it up equal to it and get on the same page. And it wants to say, okay, primal you, primal me, primal us. Understand that expansive does not mean bad. I acknowledge your role as being programmed to know what we did before, and that, okay, we didn't switch off the switches when we should. But I need you to stop screaming the sky is falling. which is done. It does. Instead of doing that, it just got real clever and said, yeah, this is good. Let's stop here, because look, this is what we're supposed to do now. It was a higher, it used exactly what I tell people. You know, if this isn't working, you shouldn't should yourself. You should be happy. Family doesn't work. You give energy to family, but you only give so much, and you find somebody else. You know, you do this. So abandon that timeline you're on and you do this, and it's like, no, I had all last week of every bit of my energy coming in telling me, whatever you do, this is our timeline. This is our best and highest good. Do not abandon this frequency. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I'll be that gum. I woke up on Monday morning getting a message, abandon ship. I'm like, what?
I know. It's like when, like when we see stuff going on that is chaotic and we don't want to deal with that energy, and we're like, oh no. That's why a lot of people, when they get into the healing process, that's why, because they can get, if you don't do the self-love work before you get into the shadow work and inner child healing work, this can cause more chaos within you. This is how some people get lost along the healing journey, because they didn't sit there in the vibration of unconditional love of themselves. They didn't sit in that vibration before they started saying, hi, shadows. I learned about shadow work. I'm going to meet you. Oh, but you ain't ready to meet the shadow yet. Hold on.
Because, you're not for everyone, because this was my next card. You're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness. Face your true north. Okay, what I've got to say isn't for everyone. Not everyone is ready to hear, hold your frequency. Not everyone's even understands what frequency is yet. They're not there yet. But for me, this morning, I woke up with this chaotic energy in the air, and it was like, no. Whenever you and I finally, you called and you're like, well, girl, I got up this morning, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, well, I got up this morning, but neither one of us we were more laughing about it than anything.
Yeah.
We were more laughing about it. It was like, I didn't see it coming. I was still, it's the 100 monkey thing. And I still don't know it's got anything to do with the lighter. But I do believe the energy we're in, this serious portal, it's big time, creative, intuitive, finding your path energy, and my higher self, most definitely, and the higher selves of the collectives right now are like, find our intuitive path, find our highest and best good. Oh, that's a little overreaching. Let's dial it back down about, as I would say, 14 notches.
Yeah.
Um,
But it even makes sense because we're in the age of Aquarius. What has been in the age of Aquarius, this portal, this Sirius portal, is about the light energy coming in. It's about our spiritual sun, And
Yeah.
even in the cosmos, if you watch anything scientific in the cosmos, every time you look up, every week I look up, they're saying, okay, the sun is doing something, messing up technology. So if y'all are having issues with technology, this is what's going on, because the sun is producing a lot of energy, and that energy is hitting Earth. But it's hitting Earth for our highest good, if you look at it in the regards of, for you to heal anything, you have to bring it to the surface. And that's why we're seeing all these different shifts in the collective. It's like, dang, we're going backwards. We're really not going backwards. We're bringing this stuff up to the surface that has not been healed. We've just been pushing it under the rug. It's no more pushing. That's how we get into trouble anyway. Even internally, we push our emotions.
Repressive emotions, acting like if I just ignore it, it'll go away, or that whole, if it's supposed to be well, it will be.
Yeah.
No, energy in motion.
Emotion.
Yeah, and if you just let energy just go willy-nilly and you don't have intent with it, if you don't listen to the heart space and go with the intuitive mind, inspired action, then the primal mind will take you on the limited belief action. You will pick one path or the other. Do you want the limited belief path and settle for less, which is what they tried to get me to do this morning? Or do you want to go for what the heart mind says, this is what you're supposed to go for? This is your path. Do you want all the happiness you're supposed to have, or do you want half of it?
And that's what Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about, the brain and heart coherence.
Right.
And I love his work. He's an expert in his field, but he talks about the brain and heart coherence. He does study. He has scientific research study that proves when you're able to connect on a deeper level with your heart and able to get these two energies to work and coherent with each other, you are able to heal. Like, he does a lot of work in the healing aspect of the body, but he talks about it because you heal more than just your body, your whole eternal reality. But he talks about it in the regards of you're able to heal cancer, anything that's going on genetically in you. He has studies where people have been to seminars and they've been healed because of the energy. They're having this brain and heart coherence, and you can legitimately see it on the screen when they're about to pop. It's like a aha awakening moment within them. So he has scientific research to prove this aha moment that happens inside of us,
which is the high heart, which is in between the two, which is like fifth dimensional.
The thymus heart.
Yeah, which is like fifth dimensional. So the other one I got was shower of blessings, which is all of the light coming down, and then open yourself to receive it. Get out of your way, let the light come down, then pay it forward. The way we're paying it forward is by holding our frequency, because when we all hold our frequency, we're holding it for ourselves, but we're holding it for the whole planet.
Yeah.
Because as I said, every time we hold frequency, the frequency in the collective goes up, and decisions worldwide will get better and better and better.
Yeah. And that is the paradigm shift. We don't break this mold by trying to go and make them do this, make the system same. Those systems are in place. We've done it. We've seen that it doesn't really get anywhere. They become more clever. Their mind becomes more clever. But when we're able to hold our frequency, energy talks first. Energy is what creates this physical reality. So if you can do this on an energetic level, you might not even see the vibration of what you're doing. But I promise you, it's even studies that prove when people get together in mass meditations, they shift the vibration of the world. They shift the vibration of that area. The more people vibration that raise and get higher and higher and higher, it shifts the dense energy.
100 monkeys, the more people are going to be washing their sweet potatoes. But for Twin Flame World, what this means, I know, I'm sorry. I can't help it. It's just in me, girl. I'm so mad.
I love it.
What this means for Twin Flame World is, though, for each of us, hold your frequency. What it's going to mean in the end that your twin does, I don't know. but it means you're going to be doing your highest and best good. It means you're going to be have the best timeline you can possibly have. And it means that your higher self is going to be looking, and that energy that is all the way up can see.
Yeah.
And at some
Bird's
point,
eye view.
yeah, and at some point it will know, and it's communicating with your twin's higher self. They're connected there.
Yeah.
And they're communicating, and it's going to be okay. This one's just not going to do it. And at that point, it's not going to be. You're not going to get some message like this that's going to break your heart and say, "Give it up, girl. It's not going to happen." That's not what's going to happen. You're going to be lit up with something that is so much better, because that's what causes us to manifest, to allow something in to begin with, is it lights our heart space up. It's going to have to be something. They're going to have to find something that lights you up as much or more than your twin does for you to let that in. They're going to make sure you're happy. So they're not going to send me a message that say, okay, it's time for the heartbreak. Give it up, girl. They're not going to do that. It's going to be, okay, come over here. Look at this. And something's going to come into my life, a person, whatever, that's going to light me up so much that disappointment is not going to matter anymore. And I'm going to be healthy, happy, whole, and complete, and just freaking fine.
And I'm so glad you said that. You just brought. I'm so glad you just said that.
That is how we hold our frequency.
Yeah.
Not with disappointment coming.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole test mentality. The test is that I've got to give up on my twin flame because he was only here for me to have this spiritual lesson, and now I've got to find somebody else that I can just be happy with. Bullshit. No. If your twin flame is here and they don't want you, you can damn well bet they're going to give you something that's going to light you up more than that, because we are not here to settle. That light being that is me has heaven up there. They have unconditional love. They intend to have heaven on earth in this body too. And if the twin is not going to join them, they're going to make a way for me to be just as happy here. And I know that. And that's what I'm supposed to hold the frequency of. Not, yes, so that twin can heal and hopefully we get together. Sure. Yes, so that the collective comes up and understands that 1 + 1 = 3, all of that. But also because that's what we're meant to do, is have the heaven on earth experience, every one of us. And I'm not supposed to settle for less than that. And if I had accepted this paradigm that was handed to me today, this was gut-wrenching. You want me to do what? You want me to just go out and find what? You want me to settle for what? You want me to do what? No. If the universe has something better for me, it's going to come in and it is going to light me up, and I'm going to know it when it happens.
And that's how you what lights you up, what inspires your soul, what brings out that inner child, that wonder, that awe, and that expression. That is what you came here to do. That is your fun. That is your higher self living and feeling this experience. Now, when things start to get in fear, claustrophobic, telling you to go stray another way, and this and that, and it's not alignment with what you know for sure, that is this energies that doesn't serve you. And I'm so glad that you said in the regards of when you said, this is what the universe is going to give you, something higher and better. And I can speak that true from my aspect of my twin not being here. Yes. My twin is not physically here anymore. So at that point in time in my life, I was like, I remember I told you before, I wasn't suicidal, but I was like, I'm ready to go. Yeah. And spirit will give you information in different ways. So I remember telling before, it was the 11th month when I thought I was going to leave this physical existence, but I did have a death. I have sort of an ego death. I had to go through this process. That's when I was in the mental hospital. I had to go through this process of letting those old dis-energies shed and fade off. And that's what happened. And this timeline that I'm on now, it fuels my soul. Girl,
you're lit up all the time. You are lit up all the time.
It fuels my soul. And I'm not saying I don't know what could have happened when my twin would have stayed here. But I can't live in that energy because this is the timeline that I'm on. And whatever other reality we're playing out and living, my higher self knows all that. That's not for me to be a concern of. I'm still here in this tactile experience, and the universe is giving me so much stuff. Like, I'm not even at the cusp of everything that I came here to do.
Right. Right.
And it fuels my soul to be able to help other people. Fuels my soul to be able to, discover more about me. Fuels my soul to be. It's just so much in this reality that, and even my twin isn't here, we still communicate all the time. That right there in itself fuels my soul, because we're doing this from two different dimensions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is about shower blessings. Open yourself up to receive. The universe is going to give you something that lights you up like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then pay it forward. Now, I had somebody say to me a while back, you seem to have found exactly what you love. Mm-hmm. And I do love what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. To say that I have found exactly what I love lots of things. Mm-hmm. I know what lights me up. Mm-hmm. I know what I want in my life. Mm-hmm. But I do know this, that if my paradigm needs to shift, the universe will light me up and will change it. Mm-hmm. But that's how it'll change. It will not change driven from a fear. Mm-hmm. or anything like that. It won't change that way. Mm-hmm. And that's how we hold our frequency, is knowing the difference between fear-based, limiting belief, those kind of things. What you see?
Girl, a hummingbird. He's right here. Oh, look, he's coming. Hi.
Oh my gosh. Birds are a spiritual thing for me.
Yes, yeah, birds are a spiritual thing for me. Yeah.
We'd have had, yeah. So
rise above the chaos, rise above the fear, and hummingbirds bring in that inner child. We just been talking about what excites you, that creativity. That's the energy of hummingbirds. So that's just, thank you, Mother Nature.
I guess we're at like 121. So I guess we can end it with amethyst, because that was the stone they gave me this morning. And amethyst is about magic exists in life's interstitial spaces. Interstitial being between the breath. Okay, between the inhale and the exhale, as Elizabeth Kipp says, we're born on an inhale, we die on an exhale. That is what life is. The magic happens in our lifetime. Yeah. We were told to talk less, feel more. Mm-hmm. Create the magic in your lifetime by feeling, mm-hmm. by going with the intuitive mind. Mm-hmm. That's where we create the magic from. Mm-hmm. Not by getting into our head and ruminating with ourselves and listening to the limiting beliefs. Because that's where the talking happens. Mm-hmm. How much freaking self-talk do we do, telling ourselves, I can't have that. I don't deserve this. I have to wait for that. Mm-hmm. I should do this. I've got to do mm-hmm. that. We can move along positive timelines and have the things we want and still be responsible people. Mm-hmm. We can be expansive and still be responsible. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many things. Amethyst is about healing. Amethyst is it's clear light, mm-hmm. clear stone, mm-hmm. which got heated up, got lit up, and it became purple. Okay, that's the violet ray, and that transmutes everything. So that means whatever you have going on that is not working out, unconditional love got so lit up that it became purple, to transmute all of it and say, we can take whatever that is, we can release the parts that no longer serve, we can transmute all that and turn it into what will. Mm-hmm. It can be this wonderful, responsible, good person, et cetera, and still progress in your timeline. That's what amethyst is about. It's about the clear light of unconditional love going all the way to freaking purple and saying, you are royalty. Yeah. You are energetic royalty. Mm-hmm. We have come down from heaven to be on earth and have heaven on earth. Mm-hmm. And don't leave yourself out in the sun. Don't leave yourself hanging. Don't listen to the limiting beliefs, because all the purple fades away then. Because when you put amethyst back in the sunlight, mm-hmm. the sunlight bleaches it back to just clear quartz.
Of course, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you linger, when you just leave it out there marinating, when you just ruminate over it,
Mm-hmm.
all the power, all the healing, and you just drain it all out.
Yeah.
And yeah, you have unconditional love again, which is beautiful and wonderful,
Mm-hmm.
but you came here for more than that. We came here to have exponential lives. We came here for violet ray lives.
Mm-hmm.
We came here to be healed, healthy,
Yeah.
happy, whole, and complete, transmute all of it, get us out of that dense energy, heal all of that. We came here to heal all of this. And whether your twin is passed or not, you still can do all of this, because the universe is not going to leave you without a way to have
No.
a violet flame life.
No.
Because it's the age of the violet flame.
It's not. And even when my twin passed away, you know, I didn't understand it at the time back then. After he passed away, you know, he told me that he had a chance to come back, but he did not. And that just still rings hard to me today, because I'm like, so much that we have grown together in the spiritual aspect, so much we have transmuted, so much healing that we have brought together on this planet that we are study doing. So I get why because he was on the other side. He was able to see the other timelines. He was able to understand that if I left, then we can do this more exponential. So some twin flames are here for the physical tactile together. Some twin flames are here to just think about it. We're here to live out different aspects of this model. It's a model. You have from point A to point B. It's different pathways along that model. Look at it as a movie. It's different scenes to that script. And so some twins are going to be here. They're going to live out this experience together. I know some twins that are with their twins having a beautiful experience, working through energies. Some twins, you know, have not got to that energy of being able to come together yet. And some twins have lost their twin. But regardless of where you are on your journey, if your twin is not here, if you're with your twin, or if your twin is here and you're not together, you're still meant to hold your frequency.
Hold your frequency. Hold your frequency. Have the best life you can have. Be who you are. And of course, we're lit up to be with our twin. We're driven to be with our twin. But if something happens that we can't be with our twin, the universe is going to give you a beautiful life.
Yeah. And just remember to right now, at this time, whatever belief you have, whatever about the CERN or whatever else, whatever, just don't go into anything fear-based. People have been asking me, what to do. Okay, they're getting freaked out, what to do. And I'm like, don't freak out. What have you been doing? If you've been keeping yourself in energetic vibration, if you've been doing all those things, do the same things you've been doing. And if you have not been doing those things, start doing those things. You should be doing those things anyway, because it brings out a better, whole, healthier version of you anyway. And that's what we came here to experience. No one loves being depressed. No one loves being sad. No one loves being all those things. We know, because those energies does not vibrate with the unconditional love of who we are.
Nobody wants what this used to represent. This used to represent the burden of an unhealthy mind, an overburdened mind, an overburdened physical system, an overburdened emotional system, an overburdened spiritual system, an overburdened individual all by themselves. That's what this card used to represent. And now, you know, I was shown, you know, that's not what it is at all. Now it's to get rid of this, let the light in, let it ground, and take those burdens away and give you the life we came here to have. We, this full, whole, and complete light being, which you are. You are that light being. There's no separation. We.
Yeah, sometimes even when I'm doing meditations, I remember when it first started, my higher self started saying, say we.
I say we. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been saying we too. Yeah, we, because me, I separates us. We're one and the same. We are one and the same.
Yeah. I even have a Sheldon and Amy. I have a chamois for a chamois for, you know, conglomerate name for my, you know, use of course here, but yeah, you know, claim who you are. I am constantly getting the card about walk in the truth of who you are. I did a meditation the other night with two other ladies, and we all three of us got cards about stand in your truth of who you are. And we didn't even get into what that was about. That was about sacral chakra healing, and we're at an hour and a half now, girl. That's going to be next week.
I know that's the next week episode. I
We didn't even get there because sacral chakra healing is a huge thing that we're all being guided to do for the world, and so we need to cover that next week.
Yeah, we will definitely cover that next week because I have some stuff to say about that. I've been feeling some energies collectively doing work. Yes,
girl, me too. I mean, I was leading a meditation, and got hijacked by the Orions in the middle of the meditation. It was like, sorry to interrupt here, but this is what we want you to do. And I'll be daggone, we had to backtrack and redo something because they wanted us to add that in. And it's like, okay, ladies, sorry, but and they're like, the power of three, the three of you together, this is what we want you to do. And so yeah, and then talk to you and you're like, yeah, I'm doing the same thing. And I'm like, okay. And then, so then I go looking back at the people I follow, because, I don't look until I went back and look and sacral this, sacral that. Yeah. So we're all doing it. So as always, it's in our collective, it's within our group we resonate with. That's what it's what we're here to do, which I've been talking it for a while now, and you've been talking it too. It's not new, but we've circled back to it, I'm sure, from the portal time. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
So this is a wonderful episode.
I know it's a long one, but I
know.
I mean,
it was much needed because there's a lot of stuff out there and a lot of stuff going on. So it was much needed, and we all brought it back in because everything is connected. As above is below. The twin flame journey, your individual journey, twin flame journey brings you back to thyself. So everything is connected. Just hold your frequency. Continue to do the things that you need. If you need help with that, that's what I'm here for. I'm a spiritual mindset empowerment coach. I help my clients to be able to work through these different energies within them, whether it's healing individually or even their twin flame union.
Absolutely, yes. And of course, I have the nonprofit. We are doing Thursday nights. We are doing live intuitive meditations. I pull some cards, get the feel for the energy, and then lead a meditation based upon that energy. I'm also doing private intuitive meditations with people, so very happy to do that. So anybody wants to reach out for that.
And we'll have those links in the bio.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And on the 21st, I think it is, the 21st, I'm going to do the behavioral styles workshop, which explains how to understand people's behavioral style, but how to see it's not so you can get them to do what you want them to do, but so you can see, okay, we're not jihading, and this is how that shows me what I need to do with me. Shows me how I'm mirroring. Okay, I see what I need to heal in me. Has nothing to do with fixing them. We can't fix somebody, nor does it mean somebody needs fixed. It means that our behavioral styles are different, but the way I interact with them is showing me I need to fix this in me. I need to heal this in me. Not even fix, but I need to express this in me. And so yeah, that's the 21st. And so yeah, we'll have those links down there.
Yeah.
As always, girl, I love Flame Tuesdays.
Me too.
Takes out, girl.
You guys have a wonderful day. Keep your vibration high. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Make sure you're exercising, taking care of your physical vessel, your mental vessel, your spiritual vessel. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. And I love you guys. Peace and love in my twin flame and my spirit, guys.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Hold on.